Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on ZA TV. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Naluro Estate, right here in Tamale. And coming up this afternoon, stakeholders in peace building in northern region commends Muslim leaders for formation of Muslim Council. And Parliament suspends approval of 80 million Ghana cedis for National Cathedral. And on the foreign front, South Africa's Parliament votes against impeachment of Cyril Ramaphosa. We have details of all that and some more coming up shortly. To stay with us. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Yasmin Ahmed Canton, and in our very first story, young persons in the Ababu forest in the Tamale metropolis have accused the Ghana Police Service of harassment and extortion. Now, the angry young men, including girls who spoke with ZA News off camera, say Monday's arrest of some of them infringes on their fundamental human rights and urges the police to rather be interested in the unemployment situation amongst the youth.
Last Monday is the second in series of the securities exercises in a bid to clamp down on criminal activities in the Tamale metropolis. The security maintains the forest is a safe haven for criminals and all efforts will be taken to get rid of all criminal activities. The police have confirmed the arrest but yet to speak on the reasons and whereabouts of the young men arrested. A local TV antenna maker, Inusa Mohammed, who has been doing his craft work at the entrance of the forest for over 8 years now, told ZA News the only solution to address the menace of young people living in the forest is for the Forestry Commission and the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly to liaise with leaders of the groups in the forest.
Due to the habit that our brothers and sisters are carrying because of the smoking, sometimes they will be here because of them, and then nobody can disobey the law. Entering there to smoke is disobey. Entering there for toilet is disobey. But we don't know how we can solve the problem. To my own opinion, if like Assembly and the police should have contacted the individual in the forest, because whatever we are doing, we get seniors. So if they enter there, those who are senior sellers, then they can feel sit meeting. Then they talk about how to solve this problem. So to me, police and assembly should have met those individuals or their seniors inside the forest so that they sit down and decide what to do.
Now, fire has destroyed Sakasaka Junior High School, Block A. Now, the outbreak occurred yesterday. The incident occurred immediately after school. However, no one was hurt. Now, the staff present managed to get out some few items before the arrival of the personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service put out the fire. Head teacher of Block B and assemblyman for the area spoke with ZA News.
After school had closed, I decided to stay back for a little while. I was there when some two kids ran to me and said they had some sparkles in the corridor of Block A, one of the blocks of Block A. And not quite long, they saw fire, smoke coming out. So they suspect it's fire. So they said, how do you know that it's fire? That because of the smoke coming out. So before we could get to the scene, the whole corridor was in flames. So we started thinking of how to salvage it. We were able to break through this in the staff common room. We were able to pick some few furniture, plus some few plastic chairs out, some books, and then 2 tables and some other items. However, the television sets and other electrical gadgets that were in the cupboard inside, because of the weight, we couldn't get it out. So those things all got burnt. But then we were able to call the fire service, and within a space of 8 to 10 minutes, actually, they came. So they came and then they started quenching the fire. But before they could do that, the whole of the building's roofing was all engulfed in fire. So we couldn't go into the classrooms to even salvage the dual desks that were inside. I think we could salvage only 10 or 11 dual desks. That is why we were able to salvage out. But everything left was all burnt into ashes. So I think 2 fire vendors came in and they were able to quench the fire. But as at now, that block is rendered unusable. The ceiling all burnt, the roof partly burnt. With some of the building trying to quench the fire, they were pushing some of the walls down. The windows all were broken in, trying to salvage the items inside. When
I
saw the flames, I actually didn't think it was fire. I thought it was coming from a man who normally burns ties here. So I received a call informing me that there is a fire outbreak inside Sakasaka GH Block A. So I immediately called on the fire service and then I came to the scene. And I asked the first witness and he narrated that he heard a loud noise and the fire started spreading. But there was chairs and other properties inside the classroom and everything started burning. But the fire service did so well by quenching the fire.
Let's stay a little bit more on education as the Target City Academy held its second graduation ceremony with a call on parents to effectively collaborate with teachers to inculcate knowledge into the children and shape their dreams. Now, the school wants parents and guardians to always endeavor to reflect good moral uprightness acceptable by the society in order to help create a conducive environment for the children at home. It states that the upbringing and development of children depend largely on parents and guardians, hence the need for them to always strive to display qualities of a good role model. The graduation ceremony of the Target City Academy was a very solemn affair which brought out an atmosphere of discipline and values instilled in the children through the years of their school. 48 children graduated from various stages to the other at the colorful ceremony where the graduates, their parents and guests filled the school compound and lent greatness to the program. Speaking at the ceremony, administrator of the school, Abdul Wahab Moses, assured the school's authorities will not relent on their efforts in providing a conducive environment that will enhance teaching and learning of children at all times. The PTA chairman, Ibrahim Sani, commended the graduates for their successful completion, teachers and the school authorities for their support and care towards children in the school. The dazzling ceremony was a great sight to behold as kids displayed their talents in various performances ranging from cultural dancing, modeling, poetry recitals and choreography. At the end of the day, some deserving students were presented with an award as recognition for excelling in school academic work, amongst others. Now, the Trades and Industry Committee of Parliament has put on hold the approval of 80 million cedis allocated for the construction of the National Cathedral. The allocation, which was made to the Ministry of Tourism, has failed to receive endorsement by the committee because members want more answers from the sector minister.
To the Tamale Central MP, Murtala Mohammed, who disclosed this in an interview, said until the committee is satisfied, they will approve the ministry's estimates without the funds allocated to the National Cathedral. The MP said the committee has invited the finance minister and other stakeholders to provide an explanation on the already expended 339 million Ghana cedis on the National Cathedral. Parliament is yet to approve the appropriation bill for 2023 budget presented by the finance minister, which included the 80 million Ghana cedis allocations to the National Cathedral.
Now, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, in collaboration with the Federal Bureau of Investigations and Royal Canadian Mounted Police, have retrieved 37 imported luxury vehicles suspected to be stolen from America and Canada. Yoko, in a statement on December 13, said the various specifications of luxury vehicles were retrieved from some garages in Accra last Friday.
Were arrested in the process and have since been granted police inquiry bail. Yoko has advised prospective vehicle buyers to ensure due diligence is done before purchasing vehicles. Meanwhile, importers of used vehicles have accused Yoko and the national security of unlawfully raiding their garages and seizing their cars. The importers, who are known collectively as the Vehicle and Assets Dealers Union, say the vehicles seized by Yoko were duly acquired vehicles belonging to their members.
Now, the International Monetary Fund staff and government have reached a staff-level agreement on economic policies and reforms to be supported by a new 3-year agreement under the extended credit facility of about $3 billion. According to a statement from the fund, the government's strong reform program aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability while protecting the vulnerable, preserving financial stability and laying the foundation for strong and inclusive recovery was key in this decision. Level agreement is subject to IMF management and executive board approval and receipt of the necessary financing assurances by Ghana's partners and creditors. To support the objective of restoring public debt sustainability, the statement added that the government has launched a comprehensive debt operation, but the fund said sufficient assurances and progress on this front will be needed before the proposed fund-supported program can be presented to the IMF Executive Board for approval. The statement further said that structural reforms will be introduced to underpin the fiscal strategy and ensure a durable consolidation. These include developing a medium-term plan to generate additional revenue and advancing reforms to bolster tax compliance. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we return, we have some more stories for you. Stay with us.
Jury Yingman Ju, the lady Yelmangle. Yelwumsra dem benye kagabo menism what a piago.
Aku kana wula akiyam na wula ta patu wala ngel. Akana wula akana wula.
Oi do e 12 years. Dinin cheka de pi la folango. Ner bor kagabo menism teri yelwumsra dem be piago. Kapi will bolle zakutu.
I don't lobby.
That's true.
Mamblan DJ yila since 2018. So Mambran nang konge kan.
The number
konge. Strong.
Konge. Zakutu program parvishel den nang za radio la. De la ya nang la za TV. Ala badel kam
jun krogani kala labne ala dale asba kurugpia.
Okay. Kaman kuma kani. Umurcho.
Yeah.
Diamante.
You see, this I know tam peshanya la kamane. Temene ni sele borna. Amanda on chirna.
Okay. Nyamsati zakutu. Domedinyala kutu. Okutu. Unkutu. Tiza. Enwilim Boni Mohammed Abdul Rashid Kawaston. Anto Belma Bra Rashid. Bra Rashid.
Tupuya ka paaya pam kanang dia maraba zang dia chahara na ayiko yilne tanam zang ayiko season powder in chana dani enyi yelne ayiko ya kagwa satma na de chen ven yala pa dambonye la ayiko beef kaman ayen don na anamde bunamde si anamde nanamde kam za sa de nyenam je kai zang la zo banzergo be pam kai zang la chim kabar na jar ma nyasam danguna ayiko beef she kada tuna abu bang mama ka dole sa haka anu tugba da zayene kada son ka anu to chim num da ma ven yala ben dole ven yala kanye mamma bang na kadama num da ma nan washam kulun yala din yente kada nyasam ku patta ven yala an wum na anam da ma ka wum din nyasam ven yala da mai la nyala bunum da ya anya kada ye bunum da ma nyasam an pan polone kanye mamma bang na kadama ya mangle ashir zan bunum de indu ajarngo bandin gbanum jengun zasa ayiko bifin jel kula nyala ban shadan kulnya ven yala kanyasa kace kayalla kam chian ven yala sango tilama la ayiko chicken season powder mami no nguna de bormuna zan no indu banzergo kanir kam za sangun dililelo no be zomyum changte bo ayiko ne no nam de pam za san suhrame zama ayiko chicken season powder ndol ka wum de nyasam amma manin ya kamani no nam de jar mamman ka shar zongo no nam de shale an zanan fridge na ka de yuge no so an kula kwarga zongo dabselongo ka bo na zan la do banzago abola ayiko chicken season powder enan banchim de namde kaman pang namde an chim de la kwara sanguna no nam de nyasam ngunde zombarge ayiko jollof badanam bongo ayen nang jollof ya kaman dafa duka kabor na dan asam makul bzen ven yala akpashal ayen zang nang jollof ma bom ayiko jollof am pa da fune kada changta swan kada nya asam dumpane da kulin chama kada kulin nya asven yala kacha kada nyom gbaza nang fine so bjane odela oda no changta do jollof da zo ti yara meni aibazan ayiko jollof season powder ndoliya amma ma yi zo jollof mana anya karba changti jollof shalbian ka ai dole base amma mini jollof na jiyama da tuna dole karanya asapam da zo jollof ma ka ai bunya season powder din zelven yala pa dole ya da palaban shadin yance ka jollof ma kana wum din ya asam din zo zama ai ko jollof powder zan zo a jollof ma yin mama an da tablet sun malla ai ko stew ayen nan kwam kam zasa cabbage stew yin yale tomato stew lan yale yalla kaman ton sakpam be kun tumre kwam kayen chim beef ma kayen zan nan lala kwam ngobe din sani zo pa ma nyeni fo so nkwahar banzergo nkwahar sambanne din yala ayi ko stew ka da tuna zan nan dinne nyin mamma yi zan lan nan da fune nyin le ma no behnya an ban kaman an banzergo ngodin ya asapa dan bawanguna ta zan dale in chim da namde to amma kwamma na kayan zan la paven yala an ko chip kwamma in cha to woni ma karata blak panan da fune nan lan nan kanya leven yala ka wum da nya asam anya ka kwamma ka da kulta azasa da bazala nya la da mal nyom da nya nyom pargu par dinne ka da nyom gel pam in zan da na ta para kwamma ne ayiko season powder nguna dan ka funfun pa amin da bazasa pabara ayiko season powder
de cher vien yala anye ayiko ngo shel dadane bandarba bolme 0262834606 ami bor ayiko salinada anto chan haji feruza be hamdallah bildallane da kurlane aji asiya gbabe da kurlane mar banjirala kana ce haji madina gbaza be da kurlane mbadanse do kloku pharmacy tinated herbal nyangam bala bamje bolga polomi yinto chan bolga da palmane sister ekuya min sister kubra gbabe ni ka kwara ayiko spices fdf fukum senen lihmulo ngo kazan banu parzo
Welcome back from that break. Let's do some for the formation of the Northern Regional Muslim Council. Now, the Northern Regional Peace Council and Mariam Center for Interreligious Dialogue pledged to support the council to carry out its activities.
Representatives of the Northern Regional Peace Council (NPC) and the Mariam Center for Interreligious Dialogue made a pledge while giving solidarity messages at the official launch of the Muslim Council in Tamale.
We want to support this new direction of the Northern Muslim Region Muslim Council of Ghana. We want to say congratulations for this new direction as other speakers have said, is a long-awaited thing that we have been thinking about, and in the various sectors to the other. Currently, we are much more and not limited to the young people in school. The young people in school. We have been organizing various workshops, seminars, and even other interactions, including a joint celebration of Muslims and Christians of Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr, and Christmas. We believe that the two religions have no problem, but the believers and the practitioners of the two religions, or for that matter, the different religions, we are the problem. If we really understand our religion and we learn the proper teaching of it, we certainly will live peacefully together.
A member of the Peace Council, Alhaji Abdul Razak Sani, recognized the need for a Muslim council. He assured that NPC will work closely with the council to achieve their mandate and ensure peace in the region.
We are happy to be part of this ceremony. Why? Because we think that the Northern Region the Northern Region Muslim Council has almost the same values as the National Peace Council. We, from the National Peace Council, think that the Muslim Ummah has a lot to add to the national development agenda. We know, for example, that we have issues of health, we have issues of conflicts, we have issues of agri, to mention but a few. When the chairman was speaking, I did hear him say that issues such as these are going to be tackled head on.
A representative from the Tamale Central Prisons stated that the council's objectives are in line with the prison services mandate.
Attached are the objectives of the council. It speaks directly to the four mentioned as safe custody, welfare, reformation, and rehabilitation. These are the four core mandates that the Constitution has assigned us as the prison service to do. And when you take the objectives, Objective 4, Objective 6, and the Objective 8, it talks about these four core mandates. So I'm here to say we are very happy to have this council established and to say that we will be knocking on the door of the council, be moving outside. And whatever is good for we those who are outside here today is the same important needed for them who are inside the force walls. It's not easy for them and it's not easy for us, especially Muslims who are there. We are suffering. They are suffering.
Now, the Islamic scholar and lecturer at the Faculty of Education at the University for Development Studies, UDS, Dr. Mohammed Zainuddin Abdul Mumin, has emphasized the need for unity amongst Muslim community. Now, he says unity is a mandatory obligation in Islam without which Muslims will continue to suffer.
Scholar and lecturer at the Faculty of Education, University for Development Studies, Dr. Mohammed Zainuddin Abdul Mumin, attributed the challenges facing Muslim communities to lack of unity and expressed the hope that a viable Muslim council, such as the Northern Region 1, will help address some of the challenges. He believes if there is an effective and viable Muslim council, brilliant students will have no financial issues in pursuing their education to the highest level. The Islamic scholar is not happy about the sectorial differences and its effect on Muslims in the country.
In fact, when it comes to Muslims, unity is mandatory. This is according to scholars of Islam. Unity in Islam is an obligation upon all Muslims to be part of one body, worshiping one God, following one book is our deen. As has been engraved into our teachings from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was narrated from Anas bin Malik that the Messenger of Allah said, "None of you truly believes until he loves for his brother. In another narration, he loves for his neighbor what he loves for himself." Without unity, the Muslim community faces many problems and challenges, as we see today. Even when we go back to history, there was a time Muslims needed to come together, but they refused to do so, and there was a lot of calamity that befell them. So when we refuse to unite, in fact, we face a lot of problems. We are all single individuals or small groups working to a single goal. However, if we act as a community, helping and assisting one another to reach the ultimate goal, which is getting to Jannah, then we all become successful. I got admission to go and study my master's in Malaysia, but I didn't have money to buy air ticket. So I had to go to Nigeria to beg for money to go to Malaysia. If something like this was in existence, we had a Muslim council. In fact, a viable Muslim council, because there is a Muslim council in Accra, to the best of my knowledge. If there was something like that, people who are working to educate the Muslim Ummah, I am sure I wouldn't have needed to travel all the way to Nigeria to go and beg for money.
Let's do some international news now. And in South Africa, an extraordinary parliamentary session opened in Cape Town to discuss the findings of an independent panel which says President Cyril Ramaphosa may be guilty of serious violations and misconduct over allegations he concealed a huge cash theft at his farm. Now, the Speaker of the National Assembly said during the session opening that it will be up to members to proceed or not to proceed with an inquiry by an impeachment committee of the Assembly.
Championed as a graft-busting savior after corruption-stained predecessor Jacob Zuma is counting on support from the ruling African National Congress Party, ANC, which has been further divided by the scandal. Lawmakers anti-probe that could lead to his removal from office. The 70-year-old president seems likely to survive the day, although analysts predicted the debate could be long and bitter. Last week, he secured a renewed backing of the ANC, which holds 230 of the National Assembly's 400 seats, after mounting a legal bid to have the damning report annulled.
And finally, in Congo, over 55 people have been killed and dozens injured on Tuesday by widespread floods and landslides caused by heavy rain. Kinshasa's 24 neighborhoods were affected, according to local officials. Now, some 12 million people live in Congolese city, many of whom now grieve loved ones.
In addition to submerging houses, the torrential rains ruined many roads. A landslide in southern Monte Ngafuli district cut off a key supply route linking the capital with the Atlantic Ocean port of Mutadi. Prime Minister Jean-Michel Sama Lukudi said officials were still searching for more bodies. President Felix Tshisekedi, who's attending the U.S.-African Summit in Washington, sent his deepest condolences to the bereaved family. In a tweet, he asked the national and provincial government to come to the aid of the most vulnerable and to accelerate the work of rainwater drainage to prevent this type of disaster from happening again. In the Ngalema area, more than 3 dozen people died and bodies were still being counted, said the area's mayor, Alido Chibanda. In another part of the town, 5 members from one family were killed, some by electrocution. He said he was spared because he was working Monday night when the rainfalls began. Officials said much of the destruction happened in houses built on plots without official permission.
And that brings us to the end of the midday news on ZAR TV. But before we go, a recap of our stories. Stakeholders in peace building in northern region commends Muslim leaders for formation of Muslim Council. And Parliament suspends approval of 80 million Ghana cedis for National Cathedral. And on the foreign front, South Africa's Parliament votes against impeachment Cyril Ramaphosa. Many thanks for joining us. For more news, you can log on to www.zarradio.com. My name is Yas.